All right, so this is from Al Jazeera. News and technology. China considers revising gaming rules after tech giants lose billions. The draft documents outlining restrictions caused major stir as tech stocks tumbled, sent investors into a panic. All right, this is from the 23rd of December. Chinese authorities have said they may revise newly drafted online game rules shortly after the planned restrictions caused major tech companies to lose billions of dollars. I don't really like the way they frame this, but let me keep reading. State broadcaster CCTV reported on Saturday that the authorities have heard concerns and opinion raised by all parties, adding that the state press and publication administration will study them carefully and further revise and improve them, referring to media regulators. So what is this about? Authorities released draft on Friday with a wide range of rules and regulations aiming at curbing online spending and rewards in video games. Its impact was immediate, dealing a massive blow to the world's biggest gaming market. Investors went into a tailspin, leading to as much as $80 billion in market value being lost, wiped off China's two biggest companies, industry leader Tencent Holdings and NetEase. According to the new rules, online games would be banned from giving players rewards if they log in every day, if they spend money on the game for the first time, or spend several times on the game consecutively. While there are common incentive mechanisms in online games, CCTV reported that regulators may now change the wording of the sections of the draft rules that limit the ability to encourage daily logins and wallet top-offs. China has become increasingly tough on video games over the years. Its first major move against the gaming sector came in 2021. Beijing set strict playtime limits for under 18, suspended approval of new games for about 8 months, citing gaming addiction concerns. So, this is interesting. China trying to... Is my mic loud enough? Let me see. So, what they want to do is try to stop login rewards, and actually have an article about this that I prepared here. This is the science and craft of designing daily rewards and why free-to-play games need them. This is all the way back from 2016. This has been a long time coming. Most free-to-play games, both PC and mobile, face an ongoing retention challenge. To make money, you need to keep more and more players playing the game on a regular basis, since active players are the ones most likely to monetize. But to get back regular players, you need to give them a compelling reason to keep coming back. And these concerns the rising cost per acquisition of new users. You work hard to acquire them, and they cost more every year. You should work just as hard to keep them. One key solution I strongly recommend. So this is back in 2016, now 2023. So what? That's 7 years ago. So this is really when it first started up. This is stuff in place. I strongly recommend a repeat login bonus, which reward players. Every day they log in a free reward of virtual goods. These bonuses leverage a well-known principle of behavior economics, operant conditionings of a given player by a positive reinforcement, in this case, increasing logins by associating them with a reward. While claiming the reward, users associate the positive feedback with login behavior and tend to associate this positive feeling with the game as a whole. As a result, users tend to log in the game more frequently and play more often. This is something they've been doing for a long time in gaming. And it's just, like I said, behavioral science. You give positive reinforcement every time they log in. You have sort of increasing login rewards. Of course, there is like a limit to that because let's say you have like a 1 month login, 30 days, and then, sometime during the middle of that, the biggest rewards at the end, if you actually get all those days, but let's say they miss a day, something happens in the middle of a month, all of a sudden, I can't get that login reward anymore at the very end, so they're just like, I won't bother. So that can actually be in reverse because then it's a negative experience if they miss 1 day. So I've seen like a lot of games like Genshin Impact kind of have these login rewards that are, sort of like 1 week. So if you get all 7 days, you're good. But, if you missed a day, it's not going to be too bad because, you just start again the next week. This has been a very big part of free-to-play games, and a lot of games. I think a lot of live service does this too, just because they want to keep players continually playing these games. Of course, China has, some concerns about it, kind of video game addiction, video game spending. A lot of these Chinese games especially rely a lot on that. People spending too much on these games. When it comes to as far as like regulating the games, then, I'm not too sure about that. I think there's a book called, I believe it's Lost Attention. Let me look that up quickly. Lost Attention was a book, I think it was called. Stolen Focused by Johan Hari. But that I read, for the guy's really big lib. So like most of his solutions are like, we need to put in more laws, more regulations to, stop these tech companies, because there's a lot of tech companies right now. They're spending millions of dollars to basically try and like, how do we make the game as addictive as possible? How do we get people coming back to Twitter, coming back to Facebook? What mechanics and bells and whistles can we do to get them coming back so they can get their eyes in front of our app, so we can, turn that into ad dollars, essentially. That's how we keep them on it. That's how we keep making money. And, I mean, this Johan Hari, I think that's his name, is making the case that, you need government regulation, because the sort of single mom person of color with like one arm can't possibly fight these, billionaire tech giants. She can't possibly be responsible for her own actions. And that's kind of like where sort of left and the right kind of disagree. The problem is obvious. They'll agree on the problem, but the solution is totally different in how they see it. And of course, China, being sort of a left-wing communist country, wants to sort of regulate it. But at the same time, they're also a bit capitalist. They like that money, that sort of Tencent and the rest bring in power. So they're kind of like, ooh, we want to regulate this, but we also don't want to make these companies lose a crap ton of money. I'm sure they have quite a bit of influence in the government as well. And of course, I don't like the way they frame this as losing. Their revenue. They lost billions of dollars, because really just their stock went down. So basically, when the stock goes up, I mean, do they gain money? I mean, it's kind of weird. It just all really depends on when you sell it. But through the sheer impact, global video. I mean, Tencent is huge, absolutely huge in gaming right now. I don't know too much about Tease, but Tencent has their fingers in a lot of things. They might own League of Legends, if I'm right. But I don't know if regulation is going to be the correct action, but I definitely think that it is bad design to have these login rewards. I love the free-to-play, sort of market. I think it's great, especially for competitive games. We get games like Genshin Impact. I don't know if it's quite as good, because it's single player. It kind of leads to, bad mechanics when it's free to play, where it's like, all right, I'm using gacha systems to get the best characters. You're essentially pay to win as far as like passing these challenges. Like most of the challenges are straight DPS checks. So from that perspective, free to play, it leads to bad design. But when you look at the competitive side of it, where it's just basically based off skins, maybe like some passes and that kind of thing, it can be really good, because it's really easy to get all your friends to join in and play. So why not? Why not enjoy it like that? It's that part's fun. That is the issue that China's facing. I think again, this actually kind of segues into our next topic, as more and more companies want to go to live service. They want to try and monetize people playing their games as much. And it is because the absolutely insane cost to make video games today